Dear friends, in this video I will tell you what kind of operations the Russian banks will consider as suspicious. The banks will consider your transactions as doubtful if your company conducts business that implies the transit way of operation. This means if the incoming funds equal to outgoing funds and these transactions happen in a short period of time, the money that come to your account immediately go out of your account without leaving any balance. In this case, your operations may be recognized as suspicious and your whole activity may be recognized as suspicious. This is because in a usual and normal way of doing business, the company is supposed to have balance at least to pay required taxes, required salaries. The company is considered to have business expenses to pay for rent and any other things. And of course the company is supposed to make some kind of profit. So the zero balance is not a good solution, and it is an indicator of suspicious activity of the company under the AML legislation. Also, your transactions will be indicated as doubtful if your company does operations without clear economic sense, without clear economic connection to your company business. The economic sense of your company's operations must be clear not only to you, but they must be even more clear to the bank, and the bank must have all documentation proving that there is a good economic sense in such operations and that this economic sense is directly connected to the business of your company. Moreover, you should be very careful in doing transactions on behalf of third parties, as in this case you have to prove the economic sense of your company and connection of your company to the activity of third party. If the funds coming to your account come with value-added tax, but you pay without value-added tax, in this case you may expect special attention from the bank and from the tax officers as well. If your company does operations that are marked with the OCWET codes which are not in line with the stated OCWET codes of your company, in this case the bank will have questions to your company and will specially monitor your company. The OCWET codes are numbers that describe the activity of your company, and when you establish a company, it is important to choose the correct OCWET codes, and after opening a bank account you have to follow those OCWET codes. You have to do business as it was stated. But if, and such often happens, your company changed the business activity before accepting or paying such payments, you have to change the OCWET codes, inform the bank about the change of activity, and only after that make such transactions. If your company intensely withdraws cash, or on the other hand, if the founders of the company put cash into the company's account, in this case definitely the bank will pay special attention to your company. If your company does payments with unscrupulous counterparty, in this case your company also will have problems. So it's very important that before concluding a contract, before accepting a payment or making a payment to counterparty, you have to conduct a proper due diligence, make sure that this counterparty is a good one, and only after that accept or make payments with such counterparty. If your company on ongoing basis transfers funds between its own accounts, this will also attract attention of the bank's compliance team, because this is a not usual way of business activity. If your company provides loans to the shareholders, or vice versa, if shareholders give loans to your company, in this case there might be also problems. If your company is working with non-residents, your operations will be at special surveillance, but it is absolutely no problem if you do operations in accordance with currency legislation of Russian Federation and in the accordance of the legislation on anti-money laundering and counter-terrorism. If your company is working with non-residents, in this case your operations will be at special surveillance, but it is absolutely no problem if your payments are done in accordance with the legislation of Russian Federation and in accordance with the legislation of 115 FZ, which is the anti-money laundering legislation. And there are many other signs of suspicious transactions. You have to be very careful in doing transactions. You have to assess every transaction, and in this case you will never have problems with the bank if you are absolutely in line with your business and with the law. Apart from following that your transactions are not recognized as suspicious, you have to take care about your company. For example, if your company has a legal address where many other companies are registered, which is called address of mass registration, then your company will have problems with the bank, because such business address are not welcomed in Russia. Or if your company doesn't have a website and there is no information about your company in the internet, bank will be interested how your company does business without even have a web page, how it finds its clients, how it finds suppliers. The bank will have questions to such company. Or if your company doesn't pay taxes or doesn't pay enough taxes, and if your company doesn't pay salaries, for example, or if the amounts of wages that are paid to the staff are not in line with the number of employees that was stated, also in this case you will have problems. Or for example, if the taxes paid to the state are not in line with the company's volume of payments, absolutely sure such company will have problems and with the bank and with tax authorities. Or if there are many court cases against your company. So it is very important also to take care about your company, to make your company a good reputation, so that your company has a good rating in the bank. And if in addition your company does transactions that are not suspicious, that don't have signs of suspicious, in this case you will never have problems working with the bank, and the bank will be glad and happy to provide you banking services. Many foreign businessmen are not always accustomed to such kind of compliance and due diligence, and in this case it is highly recommended to hire a good lawyer or a team of lawyers in order to consult you on every transaction and to take care about your bank account.